Hi everybody, in this example or set of examples we're going to be looking at the opposite of the VLOOKUP. It's another function, not very popular. You'll probably never use it, so then again, why am I showing it to you? Well, you might use it. It's called HLOOKUP or horizontal lookup. And the big difference is you use this one, you use the HLOOKUP when your data is more horizontal than it is vertical. And what I mean by that, when you look at this first one here, we have two different field names, the category and the location. But instead of like category being at A1, well it is already, and location being at B2, they're lined up like this. So it's really, here's the fields and here's each of the records. So record 1, record 2, record 3, 4, and 5. So basically your records are going by column rather than by row. Because that's more of a horizontal thing versus a, it's more of a vertical thing, because the data lays out going this way, it's more of a horizontal thing, we use the HLOOKUP. Alright, so, but it's set up the same as would the VLOOKUP, as you'll see here. So in this example, what we want to be able to do is type in a category of products. So we got like maybe a pet store, food store, whatever. And we go and we type in the word pets, and we want to figure out what location, what aisle are pets in, or what aisle are veggies in, or what aisle are juices in, that type of thing. So we're keeping it very general. We can have thousands of items up in there. So how do you make this happen? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go over here to B5, click onto that. We're going to type in equal, we're going to do HL, and you'll see HLOOKUP. Double click that. So the lookup value is going to be pets. That's this one right here. So we click onto that, comma, and the table, in essence, is going to be from here to here, and then down and across like that, see? And if you do it that way, we only have one item in here. We're not having to copy it or anything, so we don't have to worry about having to make this absolute or anything like that. But the other way you could do it, you could just select from 1 to 2. Just like when before we were doing like A, B, and C, here we're just doing 1 and 2, see? And then we'll do a comma. And then when we find, in this case, pets, it then goes down one row, so it goes to the second row and gives us aisle 1. Then we need to put in the number 2. Very similar to what we had with the VLOOKUP. Then a comma. And in this case, we want this to be an exact match. Right? We don't want it to be close. Oh, it was almost that aisle, right? So entered that in. There we go. So later on, if we were to type in, let's say, fish, aisle. So that's pretty good. So that would be using the HLOOKUP in the exact type mode, right? So now let's look at another example of this. I'm going to go to my third tab down there. This too, now when you first look at it, you might say, well, of course that would be a VLOOKUP, but no, it's actually an HLOOKUP, because the table that we're looking up on, again, is going horizontal versus vertical. We don't have like bonus and target like at A and B, and then these items underneath it, and paired up. It's actually going horizontal, thus HLOOKUP, right? So now this is going to be a close match one, because we want to have it look for the sales amount in here and then figure out which bonus amount they're going to get. We did something similar to that with the VLOOKUP earlier. So we'll start out with our equal. We'll do an HL. There's your HLOOKUP. All right. We're looking up this value, right, B2, comma, over in this table here, right? So I'm doing those 2 rows. All right. Now, Now in this situation, we're going to be actually copying this formula down, and the reference to I3, or I'm sorry, to, well, I guess it would be row 13 and 14 here, I should say, will end up getting shifted down further and further as we copy this down. So we need to kind of lock that in. So again, we're going to hit the F4 key, and that'll lock that in. Then we'll do a comma, and when it finds the closest match here, it'll go down to the second row. So we put the number 2 in there, right? Comma. And we also want this to be an approximate or close match, right? So we double click true, enter that in. 2% on Betty, looks right. And we'll go ahead and copy that down. Look at chips are at 145. The closest match there probably would be the 200,000, right? But because we didn't make it that far, above that, we got to go back one, right? And that gives us 2%, and there it is on that. So looks pretty good. Then we can actually just do a very simple multiplication on this. So we can take the 50,000 times the 2%, enter that in, and then we can go ahead and take those, or take that calculation, copy it down. There we go. Look at that. So not too bad. So again, you're probably not going to have, in most cases, your data laid out horizontally. It's usually going to be vertical, and therefore VLOOKUP is the choice there, right? But it's good to know in certain situations that you can use the HLOOKUP if that data, especially that data array, is flipped. All right, and the other thing too you can think about is we could have also taken this and done a transpose on it and flipped it to go this way. Let me just show you real quick with transpose. If we wanted to flip this to be columns, and then we could have used VLOOKUP, all we would have had to do is just select this area, right click it, hit copy, let's say go over to F, right click it, and then we do our transpose, which is this guy right here. We click it, and there it goes. And if that were the case, if it looked like that instead, then you would have, you would have gone here and you would have said, I'm going to look for this over here in this table. When you find it, give me this one over here, and that would be your VLOOKUP formula instead. So pretty easy to switch if you had to do it that way, but it's not, again, it's not hard to do it with the HLOOKUP instead. All right, well, hopefully you can use this at some point in your life. Thank you for watching the video. Take care.